Sometimes, when I find it difficult to sleep, I lie in my bed and instead of counting sheep, I count the wonderful dogs who have shared my life. I recall their names, their funny ways, and how they looked. They were all so very different, amazing individuals, unforgettable characters, and I smile. There is a coziness and a warmth in those memories. Then I try to work out the years they were with me. As I regressed through those years, something interesting happened. I realized that I was mapping out the story of my life. Each dog fitted into a period of my growing up, a different dog for a different episode in the history of me. For example, Rex was my first dog, although sadly I can only recall him from a tiny black and white photograph. I was 3 years old and Rex wasn't with us very long. He was a black and white Jack Russell cross terrier, a true Heinz variety as we called them then. Rex was an exciting addition to our family. I was an only child, and that can sometimes mean a lonely child. Rex came along and became my playmate. The puppy and the baby, an excellent combination. He made my days full of warmth and laughter. But it didn't last. He passed away in 1951 on Mum's lap beside a roaring coal fire, having contracted distemper. He was 18 months old, but he will always have a place in my heart. I sigh every time I look at that black and white photo. Next came Prince, a rough, tough German shepherd who filled my tomboy years between 1952 to 1964. Father appeared with him, announcing that a neighbour's friend's bitch had puppies and needed a home. Mum wasn't pleased. So Prince came to Valentine Grove, and I had a new best mate. My father kept him in a kennel in the garden, and he slept in an outside shed. Prince, not my father. One night there was a terrible commotion. Prince was barking and barking. Father went to investigate and found a curled-up ball of prickly hedgehog cowering in the corner. Prince and I played ball games, went on adventures along the banks of the canal, just hung out together. He was with me when I discovered Elvis Presley, jukebox jury, and of those days during riots on the top deck of the school bus, hats flying everywhere. He was my first real canine companion in a world of growing up, of discovering things. We shared those innocent, carefree moments, and today I remember and treasure them. After Prince came Santa, another German shepherd, born at Christmas time in 1964. His posh pedigree name was Barnsdale Kris Kringle. Father and I drove to Buckley, North Wales to collect him from a farm. Small and puny he was, the runt of the litter, but he grew into a fine specimen. Well, maybe slightly small for his breed, but he was mine, and I loved him just the way he was. I was moving out of my teenage years and had begun working at the Liverpool City Libraries. I was making new friends, going to parties, had my first boyfriend. I was blossoming out into a young woman, gone the tomboy image. Santa shared my awakenings to Art Nouveau, the Dada movement, and Picasso. I became a long-haired art student at Wigan College of Art, painting large canvases in the style of Jackson Pollock. Santa's years were my branching out years, questioning things like the purpose of life and where was I going, and the emergence of the Beatles, exciting, unattached days. Santa was only 7 when he died, but he was well loved and well missed. Empty years followed. It wasn't until 1974 Father and I answered an advert in the Echo and set off to Manchester, bringing home a beautiful German Shepherd bitch. Actually, she chose us. We had nothing to do with it. Her head popped up out of a basket and she adopted us. For her, that was that. So in 1974, Nana came to Sefton Drive. She had the most intelligent face, but her ears were a smidgen too big and her paws were the size of kippers. "She's going to be huge," sighed Mum. And she was right. She grew into a big, beautiful black and tan German Shepherd who was well named. She became my nursemaid and vigorous protector. Woe betide any boyfriend who tried to hold my hand, sit too close, or move in for a cuddle. She'd fling her massive bulk between us and growl, a low warning that meant back off or else. Most did. I lost a few boyfriends that way. Nana shared my courting years and fond memories of Billy, Philip, and Stephen. She died at the age of 9 in 1983. I was devastated. Grieving for my lost friend, my life seemed empty. I needed another companion as soon as possible. I believe it helps the healing process. Along came two sisters, Meg and Faye, West Highland Terriers. They looked like a pair of sheep running up the garden, so said my neighbour. Faye latched on to Mum. Meg was my little shadow. Prim and proper Meg, hoity-toity Faye. Meg was a refined, calm lady. Faye was a bit skitty, a bit jumpy. They represented those years when Mum and I were on our own, having lost my father. Years when Mum and I grew closer together. We got to know each other better and had a more meaningful relationship, helped, of course, by our two beautiful Westies. We were now a new family of 4. Faye left us when she was 12 years old. Meg was a grand old lady of 15 when she passed away in 1998. They are buried close to each other in my garden. In that same year of 1998, a very special foxy-looking little gentleman arrived on the scene. Max is still a painful memory. He was an orphan, a rescue puppy. I did some voluntary work for Carla Lane Animals in Need. One day, while I was stood in the office, the phone rang. The girl who answered it turned to me and said, "A girl has a puppy, 11 weeks old. She doesn't want it. Will you take it? It's too young to come to the sanctuary." She knew I'd just lost my Meg and there was a hole in our lives. "Well, what is it?" I hesitated because I couldn't handle a big dog anymore. "A Yorkie Pomeranian cross," she said. Well, I knew a Yorkie was a small dog, so I said yes. I put the news to Mum. She was happy to accept him. I asked her what she would like to call him. "I'm going to call him Max," she smiled, and that's what we called him. I rang his young owner and informed her I would pick him up the next day. She was very tearful. "Okay," she cried, "but come when my little boy is at school. He'll be heartbroken to see him go. And by the way, his name is Max." How strange was that? It was so meant to be. And so Max, the little orphan who looked just like a baby fox, came to us. He settled in immediately and was mainly found sitting in small plant pots outside the kitchen door. Max was the first and only dog we took on holiday, staying in self-catering accommodation. The Max years are filled with memories of walking on the prom at Grange-over-Sands in Cumbria, of strolls down fern-strewn lanes pungent with wild garlic, and of images of the vibrant tints of autumn. Wonderful years of Mum, me, and Max in the lakes. Oh, to have those days back, but we can't. We can only treasure them and move on. Max passed away in 2012. Mum began with dementia and needed a companion when I was at work. I searched the adverts for a suitable puppy and found a lady in Southport. She had the last of a litter of 4 Shih Tzu cross Yorkie pups. My friend and I went to see him. He was extremely lively with a wonky ear. Was I doing the right thing? He was very lively. We brought him home. So entered our lives a bubbly, bouncy, happy fellow who loved everyone he met. "What do you want to call him?" I asked Mum. "He's going to be my little Buddy," she replied, and that's what we called him. Buddy was just the right temperament, just the right personality, just the right dog for the right moment. So entered our lives a bubbly, bouncy, happy fellow who loved everyone he met. "What do you want to call him?" I asked Mum. "He's going to be my little Buddy," she replied, and that's what we called him. Buddy was just the right temperament, just the right personality, just the right dog for the right moment. Mum went into care, and Buddy and I visited her. When we walked into the room, Mum's eyes lit up, and she announced to the world that this was her little dog Buddy. As for Buddy, he made friends with all the elderly residents and all the staff as well. Mum passed away in 2013. Now it's just Buddy and I, heralding a new period in my life. A period of adjusting to living without family, living alone. I'm not alone, of course. I've got my huggable, lovable Buddy, and we go walking each day. I've made many friends in the dog walker's world. A new world has opened up to me. I've made a notebook of names of dogs and owners. Remembering them all is the problem, but that's another story for another day.